الحمد لله مصليا على محمد وآله ومن تلا وصلى الله وسلم على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وسلم تسليما كثيرا وبعد يا أيها الإخوة. As we come to a benefit, inshallah ta'ala, we want to remind ourselves with a tremendous reminder, because in this day and time, you find that the people are going to the extreme with regards to Islam. And we've been commanded to be moderate and balanced in Islam, to take the moderate path. So this is something that is very important, because many people tend to forget about this affair, and they rush into situations, and then they find themselves in a hole. And then they use certain ayat or hadith to try to justify. So we want to be balanced, ya ayyuhan nas, to take the moderate and balanced approach in every affair. And that doesn't mean that the Muslim is lackadaisical when it comes to his religion, but what it means is that the person, that he is conscious, and that he is careful of that which he says. Because you have individuals that don't know any better, and they may gravitate towards that position that you have taken and use it in an incorrect way. So this is something that is very important, that we must be mindful of the things that we say and the approach that we take. Even if it may be, something that is correct, but the way that you are using it, the way that you are exploring it, the way that you are exploring it, or saying it, this is something that needs to be taken into consideration. So Islam teaches us to be moderate and to be balanced in all aspects of life. It is a religion of worship, relationships, and ideas, or and its principles. And moderation is one of the defining characteristics of good character in Islam. And this is also dealing with good character, is to be moderate, is to take the moderate approach. Moderation, ya ayyuha al-ikhwa. قال الله سبحانه وتعالى وكذلك جعلناكم أمة وسطا. He mentions Jalla wa Ala, and thus we have made you a just balanced community. We have made you a just balanced nation. لتكونوا شهداء على الناس ويكون الرسول عليكم شهيدا. He mentions Jalla wa Ala, that you will be witness over the people, and the messenger will be witness over you. So it is mentioned by our Salaf, rahimahumullah ta'ala. Al-Razi, he commented on his verse, and الوسط حقيقة في بعد عن الطرفين ولا شك يا أيها الناس. He mentions rahimahullah that the just balance, the just in the balance, the wasat, and reality, حقيقة, is the furthest point between two extremes. There's no doubt. ولا شك يا أيها الناس. لا شك, the two poles of excess and extravagance are destructive. So to be moderate in character is to be furthest from them, which is to be just and virtuous, and to have the upright moral character and behavior of the Muslim. So moderation is the center point between two extremes. Every one of these virtuous sits at the moderate center of two vices that stray from it. So our goal should be to find that center and always return back to it when we move away from it. To find this balance, the center of balance and moderation, when a person strays from it, is that he finds that particular balance and stick to it. So moderation is closely related to balance and justice, as justice implies balancing rights and duties and setting everything in its rightful place. The moderate and just and correct action in any given situation often involves the balancing in various concerns and seeking a middle ground between them. And Wahab ibn Munabbih, one of the Salaf, he mentions, verily everything has two ends. إن كل شيء طرفين. إن كل شيء طرفين وسطا. Really, everything has two ends and a middle. And if you hold one of the ends, the other will be skewed. And if you hold the middle, the two ends will be balanced. You must seek the middle ground in all things. It is mentioned that this understanding of moderation is alluded to in our concept of straight path And this concept of the Sirat al-Mustaqim, of the straight path in Islam. The straight path is the one that traverses the middle ground, neither swerving to the right nor to the left. And Hudayfa, radiallahu ta'ala anhu, he said, "O people, remain straight. Ya mashal al-Qura, ya mashal al-Qura, istaqimu, فقد سبقتهم سبقا بعيدا." He said, "Oh people, remain straight upon the path, and you will have taken a great lead. But if you swerve to the right or to the left, then you will be led far astray." فَإِنَّ أَخَذْتُمْ يَمِينًا وَشِمَالًا لَقَدْ ضَلَلْتُمْ ضَلَالًا بَعِيدًا. أو كما قال رحمه الله تعالى. As we mentioned, is that he mentions that the straight path, it is something that is traversed upon. So if you take the straight path, you will have taken a great lead. But if you swerve to the right or to the left, you will be led far astray. So our position in Islam is that we take the moderate approach, that we are moderate in every situation. In fact, it is the shaitan who sets up his partners along the straight path to call people away from it. The devils intend to mislead humanity into the extremes of any direction, as long as it is away from the straight path and the middle path. So, when it's all said and done, the shaitan comes in and tricks individuals, and to make them think that what they're saying or what they're doing is the truth. The actions that they display is the truth. The position or the statements that they say, that they make, it is the truth. So the shaitan, he manipulates them, and you see the results of individuals making statements that cause them to have to, either they have to backtrack their statement, or the shaitan, he tricks them and makes them believe that they're upon the truth, that what they're saying is the truth. So they don't make any retractions. They don't backtrack from their statements, but rather they stay upon this destructive path. Excuse me, my teeth is bothering me. So if you hear me, hear my voice or hear me speaking this kind of way, it's because of my left side is bothering me. Nas'Allah salam. So it is mentioned, Ya ayyuha al-ikhwa, that Ibn Mas'ud radiallahu anhu reported the Messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he drew a line with his hand and he said, هَذَا سَبِيلُ اللَّهِ مُسْتَقِيمًا هَذَا سَبِيلُ اللَّهِ مُسْتَقِيمًا. This is the straight path. The Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he drew lines to the right and to the left, and he said, هذه سبل وليس منها سبيل إلا إليه شيطان يدعوه إليه. هذه سبيل وليس منها سبيل إلا عليه شيطان يدعوه إليه. كما قال عليه الصلاة والسلام. He mentions عليه الصلاة والسلام that these are other paths, and there is not a path among them, but that a devil is upon it calling to its way. And even though it may sound good, even though what that person is saying, it sounds good, because the falsehood, it resembles the truth, but in reality it's not the truth. The shaitan, he makes the falsehood resemble the truth. This is how he tricks the individual. This is how he manipulates the person to make that individual think what he's saying and what he's doing is the truth. Nami ayyuhan nas. The Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he mentioned the verse that he recited, the verse where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he says, وَإِنَّ هَذَا صِرَاطًا مُسْتَقِيمًا فَاتَّبِعُوهُ وَلَا تَتَّبِعُوا سُبُلَ. Really, this is the straight path, so follow it and do not follow other paths. So individuals, calling individuals to take a particular position, or to speak about a person, or maybe speak about a person of knowledge, to speak about the ulama, to speak about a student of knowledge. And this is something that we should stay out of, to stay away from, because the shaitan can beautify all of this for you, and then have you say something, and in the long run, in the end, you will be from amongst the losers. You will be the one who will be held accountable. You will be the one that is going to stand in front of Allah and to be asked about these statements that you have made. So it is upon the person to be cautious. So be cautious, ya ayyuha al-ikhwa. Really, this is the straight path. وَإِنَّ هَذَا صِرَاطٌ مُسْتَقِيمًا فَاتَّبِعُوهُ وَلَا تَتَّبِعُوا سُبُلَ. This is the straight path. So follow it and do not follow other paths. So the principle of moderation should be something that we take the moderation approach in our thought processes at the forefront of reasoning and daily life. To have reason, to think, before you say something. To be conscious of what you say. We should be moderate when it comes to balancing the duties of religion and the duties of worldly life. As Allah Azza wa Jalla, He mentioned, وَابْتِغَاءَ وَابْتِغَاءَ ماذا? And seek the home of the hereafter. وَابْتِغَاءَ فِيمَا أَتَاكُ اللَّهُ دَارُ الْآخِرَةِ أَتَاكُ اللَّهَ دَارُ الْآخِرَةِ. Seek the home of the hereafter by that which Allah has given you. But do not forget your share of the world. Now, seeking the hereafter, this is the goal. But don't forget the portion of your hereafter, or don't forget the portion of your world, your worldly affairs, such as, trading and working and so forth. But the aim, the goal, is the home of the hereafter. This should be in a person's mind. So some of the companions, they complained to the Prophet ﷺ about mixed feelings they experienced when they were in the study circles of the Prophet ﷺ. Their awareness of the hereafter and its realities will be at its peak. While when they return to their family and work and their lives will carry on as usual. Like they say, business as usual. So the Prophet ﷺ, he told them that this was normal. And that a Muslim, he should devote time to the hereafter as well as his worldly life. He should be more devoted in the hereafter, but don't forget about the portion of your worldly life as well. So it is mentioned, Al-Hanzala Al-Usaydi, he mentions, radiallahu anhu, showing you these balanced affairs, the balanced approach. O Messenger of Allah, when we are in your presence, we are reminded of the hellfire in paradise. We feel as if we are seeing them with our very own eyes. But when we leave you and attend to our lives and our children and our business, most of these things slip from our minds. So the Messenger of Allah, alayhi salatu wasalam, he said, وَالَّذِي نَفْسِي بِيَدِي إِن لَوْ تدومنا على ما تكون عندي وفي ذكري لصافحتكم ملائكة على فراشكم وفي ماذا تروككم ولكن يا حمدنا ساعة وساعة كما قال عليه الصلاة والسلام في صحيح Muslim. He mentions, by him whose hand is in my soul, your state of mind remains the same as in my presence, and you are always occupied with the remembrance of Allah Azza wa Jalla. The angels, the malaikatu ala firashikum, the angels, they will come and shake your hands. They will come and shake your hands in your beds. وفي طروقكم ولكن يا حمدنا ساعة وساعة. Oh حمدنا, rather time should be devoted to this and time should be devoted to that. لكن is a time for everything. As part of this, we should be moderate in our acts of worship, such as the prayer and such as fasting and even giving charity, for example. That our prayers should be recited in a moderate voice, neither too loud nor too soft. As it is mentioned in the Quran, as Allah mentions, Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu, Abu Musa Afwan reported that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he mentions during a journey when the people begin to exalt Allah loudly, the Prophet, he mentions, O people, be gentle with yourself, for you are not calling upon one who is deaf or absent, rather you are calling upon the hearing and the seeing, the one who hears everything and the one who sees everything, Jalla wa Ala. So this is that which we should be traversing upon, this balanced approach in all situations. And so Suyuti rahimahullah, he mentions it is a moderate peace, or rather it is a moderate pace, that's one, is that the person is moderate in all his affairs. And it is mentioned that we should be moderate in our relationships with others. So this includes not only all of the virtues we mentioned that lie between extremes, but also to keep our feelings and emotions in check. And this is also important. That you must keep your emotions all in check. You know, people get all emotional and start spewing out words and being disrespectful. We should love for people what we love for ourselves, but not as infatuation that we endorse their sins. You find individuals, they make a statement, or they say, particular phrases and statements. It sounds good. It sounds real good. It sounds spicy. And individuals endorse that behavior. They endorse that behavior. They retweet it and like it, and spread it, and send it to their followers, and their followers send it to their followers. So they're infatuated, and they endorse their sins. And we should hate the sins and evil deeds people commit, but not as malice that we want to harm them. Not like that. We should hate what they're doing, hate the sin, but not to the point that we want to harm them. As Umar radiallahu anhu, he said, لا تكون حبك كلافا ولا بغضك تلافا. He said, let not your love for infatuation and let not your hatred be destructive. لا تكون حبك كلافا ولا بغضك تلافا. أقول رضي الله عنه, let not your love be infatuated. Be so infatuated that when a person says something, even if it's wrong, it's right to you. You're infatuated by this individual. That whatever he says, even if it's wrong, it goes against that which is right. It goes against principles. But since you are so infatuated by this person, your love for this person, لا يكون حبك كلافا. Let not your love be infatuation, and let not your hatred be destructive. Don't get to the point where you hate him so much. Your hate is destructive for this person. Leave room for love. Leave room for reconciliation. نعم يا أيها الناس. He mentions, and when you love someone, Umar radiallahu anhu, it is mentioned, and the sources, you can find this in Adab al-Mufrad. He mentions radiallahu anhu, إذا أحببت ماذا خلفت. He said, when you love someone, you become infatuated like a child. And when you hate someone, you love destructive for your companion. When you love destruction, ماذا? You love destruction for your companion. When you hate someone, you love destruction for your companion. When you love someone, you become infatuated like a child. But when you hate someone, you love destruction for your companion. Allah musta'an. So we need to be moderate, and particularly when dealing with the people who do not believe as we believe. And we need to be moderate and believe, and we need to be moderate when we're dealing with each other as Muslims. Sometimes some Muslims, they go to the extreme either in imitating the bad behaviors of the kuffar or rejecting their culture and companionship completely. Rather, we ought to have a balanced relationship with them in which we bear witness to our religion with good character. Qala Ibn Hibban, rahimahullah, he mentions فَلَا تَغْلُوا فِي مُقَارَبَتِهِمْ. He says, do not exaggerate in seeking nearness to them. Do not exaggerate in seeking nearness to them. You everything, you go out your way to be a fan of individuals. You go out your way to make them love you. Do not exaggerate in seeking nearness to them. وَلَا تُصْرِفُوا فِي مُبَاعَدَتِهِمْ. Nor be excessive in seeking distance from them. Nor be excessive in seeking distance for them. Don't completely just cut them off completely. But with us, we cut people off completely. We write them off completely. This person is astray. He's off of it. He's this. He's that. We completely just cut him off. So it is mentioned, يا أيها الإخوة, Moderation and balance are also the characteristics of great leadership. Muawiyah radiallahu anhu, Ibn Abi Sufyan was one of the caliphs and accomplished leader who tried to balance the rights and duties of himself with his people. He likened this to a delicate strand of hair that him and his people each held and constantly adjusted, making sure it was not too loose to become limp, and not too right or not too tight, and that it breaks. So Muawiyah radiallahu anhu, he said, it is as if there is a strand of hair between the people, and it is as if it is a strand of hair between the people and myself for me to keep straight without breaking it. So he mentioned, it was said, how is that? Muawiyah, he said, when they loosen it, I will tighten it, and when they tighten it, I will loosen it. So if the people go to the extreme, the leaders have a duty is to rein them in. And if the leaders go to the extreme, the people have a duty to rein them. A system of checks and balances between various sects, between various sections of society and government can help prevent extremism and the oppression that arises from it. So as we conclude, moderation is a comprehensive principle in Islam that guides a Muslim in all activities of his or her life. It is avoidance of any type of extremism, pleasing to the shaitan that leads us astray from the straight path. With the renewed understanding of this Islamic teaching, the Muslim can help counter the many rising tides of extremism that threaten not only the Muslim community, but all of humanity. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it easy for us to understand this affair. It's not correct that individuals take this approach, but rather we should look at the affair and take the balanced approach to be safe, to be sound, and to be mindful of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is a small advice, a reminder that we want to share. Ta'ala. So excuse me for, my tongue was being twisted, and my teeth, is the left side of my mouth is, the left side of my mouth is kind of sore. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it easy. Allahumma yassir, wa la tu'assir, wa akira da'wana an alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen.